Hey everybody, good morning. Yeah, we are out of the woods. We're gonna hit an amazing high today in New York City of 42, of 43 degrees. I'm from New York City. And if you're new to here, thank you. Welcome to my coffee talk, Chris, body, mind, and spirit. This is the coldest winter, the worst winter, maybe not the worst, snow-wise and sleet and freezing rain, but probably all around the coldest winter in my entire life that I can remember. As a kid, you just played. You were a kid, you had fun, you played. Let's get a cup of coffee. I want to talk about, 193 pounds. I'm going to starting to get back on the scale again to show you guys. But why would I lie? 193 pounds. I want to first thank you, Tom Latchkey. You are a real one for reacting to my video, reacting to you, Latchkey Gen Xer. And I just always want to, there were no criticisms really, just some helpful tips about caloric range, going gradually. You don't have to count steps, putting yourself in a moderate caloric deficit. And I know now, Latchkey, that you're taking your time. I can get a little bit impatient as a coach. I can get a little bit impatient because if I were coaching you, I would have you 2 to 3 pounds a week, losing the next 10 weeks and getting down to your goal. But I want to thank you for the kind words you've said to me, and I want to have you on my show, and I want to be on your show. But today I want to talk about a couple of funny things. Let's be light, a little bit of levity. Let's be light. I want to have some fun today. I want to tell you my craziest keto carnivore story, and ultimately why I left that lifestyle behind. 1 second, guys. Good morning. Coffee talk. Oh, absolutely love it. A little milk, sugar, salt, and Ceylon cinnamon. Oh, this is amazing. I always start my day. Recently, I've been having a lot of fun with good culture, really fantastic cottage cheese. I put a little bit of honey or a little bit of jam into it. I actually add a little bit of salt. That's another one, guys. Add salt to your diet. Better than creatine. But we're going to talk about it. I always start my day with coffee. So I always think of myself as a very kind person, a good guy. It's how I was raised, how my parents raised me. Being a Christian, it's just, I love everybody. Until you give me a reason not to love and respect you, but then I just move on. I don't fight. I don't get into, crazy debates. I'm right, you're wrong. It's just not what this channel is about. It's really my experience with 25 years coaching, training, failing miserably, depression, anxiety, wanting to off myself. Whole other video if you guys know me. And just the horrible times I've been through and what I've learned. And this is a guy who's 57. Sorry, spitting over here. It's always one take. This is a guy who's 57 years old, doesn't come from great genes and parents and family that everyone's lean. It's so easy to be lean. Well, let me tell you something about genes and family. That's a crock of crap. I know many, many people whose parents are very, very lean. You know who you are. Whose parents are very, very lean and they're fat. And I love saying fat because I was fat, but I tried everything. Really everything. No surgery, no drugs. You know that. I'm not into any shots or any stomach stapling or anything like that. But I wonder if you're familiar with a couple of people. So the apartment, this is my new apartment. I've been here for 7 years. The rather large king-size bedroom. It's actually quite a large bedroom for New York City. But about 12, I've been here 7 years, so this was about 12, 13 years ago. Do you remember this guy? By the way, they were not using Carnivore so much on YouTube or social media, on the interwebs, as much as they were using the word keto. So people often say, oh, I'm keto carnivore. No, you're either more of a carnivore or you're keto. It's one or the other. So if you remember this guy, you're going to love this story. You're going to love this story, okay? Do you remember this guy? I'm surprised he only has 240,000 subscribers. Do you remember the biohacker, successful guy, Dave Asprey? Now, he's not that popular today, but there was a time, if you look at his oldest videos, where Dave lost 100-something pounds, oldest videos. Here we go. So he has removed some videos here because he had videos well before this, or perhaps he was interviewed on other channels, because Dave Asprey influenced me about 10, 12 years ago. So his own channel, they're actually, Dave Asprey, if you guys remember this bulletproof coffee. Okay, sorry, stay with me here. And he had these products, and I bought them. I especially bought the French roast, mold-free, good quality coffee. Good quality. It was called, bulletproof coffee. And his diet, fasting with bulletproof coffee versus water only. But these videos, a lot of them were removed because add 2 tablespoons of butter to coffee. I did that, but I'm looking for some of his older vids. And they have been removed. YouTube's been out about, there's Ray Pete with Dave Asprey, but that's just sort of the picture there. That's not a real photograph. But the bottom line is a lot of these videos were removed just to catch you up. He had a diet for executives, for people in Silicon Valley, for people that are very successful like Dave, who I believe ran a security company. And what worked for Dave was to drink coffee, which is a great appetite suppressant. Why do you think I drink it besides all the other wonderful benefits? But I put tons of milk and sugar, carbs, salt. Salt is my new secret weapon. Video coming. And cinnamon. And, of course, whole milk. But David Asprey, whom I actually like a lot, lost 80 pounds, 100 pounds by dropping all carbohydrates. Again, this worked for Dave. And putting in 2 tablespoons of butter in this guy, right? No sugar, no carbs. He would have bulletproof coffee the entire day. He would fast on that. It worked. It worked. I sometimes add in heavy cream. That was allowed. Sometimes I would cheat a little bit with some whole milk. But the bottom line is I put Kerrygold's. Do I have some still? This is nostalgic for me. This is one of the first diets, thank you, that I, use this wonderful pure Irish butter. Horrible Irish accent, sorry. But this is pretty good butter. Pretty good from, as it says here, made milk from Irish grass-fed cows. Good butter, expensive. This lasts me forever now because I don't eat a lot of butter, as you guys know. So I'm adding that to the coffee, And what happens is at night, you would have a salad, vegetables, and a huge rib eye steak. He might allow a little bit of potatoes, but that's not what Dave was doing. It was kind of carnivore in the evening, but basically with all of that fat, Dave was putting you in a ketogenic state. 60 to 70, get this, 60 to 70% of your diet was fat, saturated fat. Now, I don't disagree with Dave, but I want to tell you my experiences about, this particular diet. So this is a wild ride, guys. Okay, buckle up. I was living in this big studio. Actually, the apartment may have been larger than this apartment, but I like having the walls, and the extra closet space. It was one big space. I'll never forget it. And on the counter, and I found pictures of this. I found pictures of my butter and heavy cream and coffee. I was sending my girlfriend, Kim. Hey, Kim Hunter, if you're watching this. Hi, Kim. I miss you. Ex-girlfriend. What? She was wonderful. I blew it. I'm retarded. Sorry, Kim. But back to the video. So I remember sending her pictures of, at the time, I must have been, it's the first time I was really introduced to the ketogenic, 44, 42, 44. And I was putting butter in, and the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, I was losing weight like crazy. I saw my scale. There are pictures that I found in my phone of 211, 210, 207, 204, 203. I was like, I found the answer. All I got to do is be locked in my apartment, never go out, avoid all social situations until dinner. And someone keeps texting me, guys, I'm sorry. This is always one take. And I would have my 2-3 cups of coffee. I naturally woke up at 10 o'clock. I was working more, training in the gyms later in the day, and also teaching music later in the day. And I would be fine. I'd be buzzed, and I would have the fat, and it was great. Obviously, I was peeing out a lot of weight, but overall, I felt really, really good. Then it happened. I started to not be able to go to the bathroom, no matter how much fiber and vegetables I put in the evening meal. Remember, Dave recommended filet mignon, ribeye, tomahawk, any kind of Cole Robinson tomahawk steak, but it had to be very, very fatty. Keeps you satiated. And if you actually look at the calories, throughout the day, I was probably getting 300 to 400 calories with all that butter and heavy cream and the coffee, right? No sugar. And in the evening, it was probably 12 to 1,500 calories in the big steak. So you're under 2,000 calories. 6'2", hard-working man over here, right? And I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't worship and sit on my porcelain throne. Couldn't do that. I was like, okay. So then I was trying to go out and get prune juice or prunes, but that was not part of the diet. I couldn't really do that. Then I was trying to drink a lot of water with lemon juice. It would work sometimes, but I was so blocked up. The pipes were clogged. I know, too much information, but you love it. You love that I suffered. I know you love it. So, and then something else started to strangely happen. Not only did the scale stop, I was very, very gradually gaining weight. I started to think, okay, I watched all of his videos. I got his advice he sent me when I ordered the bulletproof coffee. I still have Dave's, where is it? Here it is. He gave me this as a gift. I got a couple of coffees, and this is wonderful. Bulletproof, the state of high performance. This holds my coffee airtight. I've had this for a decade. I love it. Thank you, Dave. And nothing seemed to be working. Now, stalls are the worst, especially, well, now I know dozens of strategies to get out of a stall. But Dave didn't have that carb up day. Dave didn't say to have that day of refeed, of eating tons of potatoes, rice, and pasta. But then I started to try to sneak that in. Didn't work. Didn't work. I felt like I was getting fatter. I was now retaining water. Going back, I'll never forget every day looking at the coffee. Dun, dun. Looking at this cup. This was not a joyful experience. No sugar, no milk, heavy cream, butter. That's not skim milk, whole milk. It's a lot of suffering. And I'll never forget this. Here comes where the fun is. This now went on for, I can be very stubborn. I've learned to be flexible. But this went on for a couple of months. A little lower weight, a little higher, but I was at 203, 204. I was so stuck. And all I had to look forward to, and steak is my favorite food. I always say, latchkey, I am a carnivore. The original definition is a carnivore is a person or animal that eats meat, but does not necessarily eat meat exclusively. I am a carnivore. I just don't do the carnivore diet. So I'll never forget going on dates with Kim or being with my parents and avoiding unless I said to my mom, can you make me, if you don't have steak, could you give me some chicken or roast beef? She had pasta with shrimp and I barely touched the pasta and ate all her shrimps. Shrimps have very low calories. That's a repeat food. So I was suffering. You guys. I'll never forget trying to take a dump. A number 2 was a minor miracle trying to go to the bathroom. God, you live, you learn. And then here's the kicker. This is what you've been waiting for. I found this channel, okay? Back then, this was a long time ago. I mean, what I've learned in the last 10 years about nutrition, to me, is priceless. And the knowledge, the certificates, thousands of pages and thousands of studies. Then they make you go to the hospitals. My sister, luckily, I got in very easily with my sister, and I have a family full of physicians to learn about blood pressure and learn about, they would make you go and learn things. I'm talking about getting your certificates of being a nutritional coach, a health coach. I'll make a video just about my studies, but I saw a video and I started following this guy who was talking about eating, you ready for this? The ice cream diet. He's a personal trainer like me, maybe about 5-6 years younger. I think he lived in St. Louis. And he was eating a pint of ice cream a day. He goes, well, I eat chicken breast, I eat oatmeal, I eat broccoli, but I'm going to prove to you guys, I'm going to find this guy's videos. He goes, I'm going to prove to you that you can have a pint of ice cream a day, Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, and if you're in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight. And I started watching him. So I'll never, ever forget this. It was summer. It was getting to be warm. I started this diet like in March, and I made it to like May, June, with very little cheating. We're talking about Dave Asprey's bulletproof coffee diet. And I remember being so frustrated, couldn't take a shit, basically, miserable, unhappy. My girlfriend wanted to kill me. All I wanted to do was eat steak. And I'll never forget this. It was like a revelation came to me. It was probably the afternoon. I remember it was warm. It was June. And I went, I I can't drop a pound. Fuck this. Screw this. I was so mad at Dave Asprey, so mad at this ketogenic diet. I was stuck. I couldn't lose weight. And I remember I was obviously living right here, and I was living about 20 blocks that way. And I walked to this very fine store that had just opened up. And it had really, really good food in there. And I went in there. I'm like, I'm going to get something. I need to eat potatoes. I need to eat pasta, rice. You know what I saw? I saw in the refrigerator. I opened it up, and they had lines and rows of Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, and I grabbed the nastiest. Do you guys remember Chubby Hubby? The flavor, it was either Chunky Monkey. No. It was Chubby Hubby, because that's what I felt like, and I was single. And let me look up Chubby Huggy really quick. So I grabbed the Chubby Hubby. Now, if you look at the calories of Ben & Jerry's Chubby Hubby, okay? Highly recommend this, but it's okay. This is Ben & Jerry's Chubby Hubby. This is decadent beyond belief. We're talking pretzels, all kinds of caramel, vanilla malt. It's. Let's look at the calories, okay? Let's look at the calories here. Okay, so basically $13.80 for the pint. I eat ice cream now, which is $800, $750, $900 per pint. $13.80 for a pint of Chubby Hubby. And I honestly felt like almost like I was inspired to do this. I just grabbed a Chubby Hubby. Well, I ran home. I took out my spoon and I ate the entire pint. This is after the coffee, okay? This is after the coffee. No coffee talks back then. Little did I know I would become a famous YouTuber, right? And I knocked out the entire pint. You know what happened? I started to shake. I started to sweat. I ripped my clothes off. This is a true story. I ripped my clothes off. So I felt something happening. I ran to the scale and I dropped 2 pounds. Listen to what I'm telling you about calories and metabolism. I had been doing Dave Asprey's ketogenic diet for months, and at night the carnivore portion, okay? I ate an entire pint. I had just weighed myself that morning. Let's say I think I was 206 or 205. I ate the entire pint. I started to sweat. I took my clothes off. I sensed greatness. I hopped on the scale and I was down 2 pounds. Well, how do you like that? Please don't go out and buy ice cream and have a pint today. You'll curse me out. It's not what I'm saying. Do you see the value of carbohydrates, of a mixed diet, the value of metabolism, of why calories in, calories out is not the end all and be all? I would never lie to you because of these stories. I have a million stories. I love these stories. It made me whom I am today. Whom I am today. I tell this to my clients that they're in disbelief. If you are stuck, you need to go the opposite direction. Now, that got me out of carnivore and keto forever. I stupidly went back to carnivore in a panic when I had my Great Depression. You guys know this, just before 2020. And I was getting out of it by 2020. And then, of course, 2020 plunged us all. That hoax plunged us all into another Great Depression. I don't mean it was a hoax. I mean the way the countries responded to it. That's all I'll say about the wonderful 2020 time period. So I went back on carnivore for a while. stuck again, bloated. This is a tight-fitting t-shirt, guys. Trying to bring back summer. I'm trying to bring summer back. Feeling lean and strong, 193. So let this be a lesson to you that you have to go the opposite direction. If I continue to have a pint of ice cream a day, I would be nutritionally screwing myself, and I could have very little chicken breast, yogurt, meat, etc., because I know, or my maintenance, remember, a maintenance number is a movable feast. It's movable goalposts. Your maintenance, your body needs different things every single day depending on your activity, sleep, time of the month, menopause, perimenopause. I work with tons of women. I make my women eat. They eat their way and they lose weight, not fast. We fast all the time. Every time you don't eat, you're fasting. Don't do things that are metabolic destroyers. So then you have to do silly things to get out of it. You guys know how I roll. Come on. There's nothing I'm hiding in the fridge. Ground beef, yogurt, some natural sodas, eggs, vegetables. No dessert, potatoes. No dessert, potatoes. Okay? I always show you everything. Sourdough bread. Honey. Hi, honey. Oh, hi, honey. Peanut butter on occasion. Too much polyunsaturated fats. My Italian background. Angel hair pasta. There's no junk in the house and no junk in the trunk. Being silly. That is a true story. That is a true story. I had a pint of ice cream. I started sweating, something I knew, and I was shaking. And I felt the greatness of Ben and Jerry's. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jerry. True story. Metabolism is a funny thing. Hope you enjoyed it. This is a true story, very long coffee talk. If you want, contact me for coaching. And I love doing what I do. I love making this fun for everybody. I'm not the biggest guy, as you can see. I'm not very, I want to be lean and muscular like Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. That's what I'm going for. I don't want to be the biggest guy or the most ripped guy. I want to look athletic and fierce. Guys, thank you. Comment, like, and subscribe. Chris, body, mind, and spirit. Thank you. Yeah, good story. That was a good story.